Well, it's Monday morning, Monday the 14th. Yeah, yesterday wasn't the 14th. I think I said it was Sunday the 14th. It was Sunday the 13th. I was checking if anybody would check me out on it. No one did. Anyway, today is Monday the 14th. And it's 6:30. I've already had coffee. And I've fed the chickens. I'm just getting ready for the morning. Normally we don't have people working here on a Monday, but I've got two guys coming to work here this morning because we're cracking on at the moment with the property, with getting it done. Question I would like to answer today basically is, would I retire in the Philippines? Would I retire in the Philippines if I hadn't met Richie 20 years ago, married her, and spent a life with her in the Middle East and the UK? Actually, the question raised, would I be living on the compound? And I just wanted to emphasize it further than living on the compound. Would I be even living in the Philippines? And surprisingly, I mean, my answer is no, I probably wouldn't be. I mean, I didn't come to the Philippines to find someone like Richie. It never came to my attention to go out and live here. You know, when I first met Richie, I wasn't thinking of retiring anyway. So, I mean, that makes... So why would I be retiring in the Philippines? And I gradually lean towards retiring in the Philippines after many, well, in the last sort of 7 years of getting closer to retirement, and then thinking, well, that's probably a good place, we should go and live there. I mean, that's after coming out here many times for many holidays and spending time over here with family and then visiting other places as well, of course. But the question is, would I retire? This is more a question I would give a clear answer to with people who are considering the Philippines and they don't have someone like Richie or have a relationship with anybody long-term here in the Philippines. Would I, if I was on my own, single, and the age I am, or in my late 60s, shall we say, consider the Philippines as an option to retire to? It probably wouldn't even come on my radar, to be honest with you. The Philippines, from my point of view, I'm here purely because this is Richie's home. The reason I'm living here in Nova Sierra is because this is Richie's home. So she has a family here, she has her own land here, and obviously we're building a place on here because we can. It's a sort of, and it's rural, but not too far away from civilization. It's got cities not too far away, and a small town. So although it's rural, it's not an isolated island where we're a day away from civilization. We are close to certain things. But no, I wouldn't be here, and I probably wouldn't be in the Philippines. Not that I'd have any problems or dislikes about the Philippines. I love the Philippines. It's a great location. But there are many locations in the world I like, that I've been to and experienced, and give me that energy I enjoy, and what I do in my retirement. So if I was going to retire, I didn't know Richie, I'd probably be in Africa. I probably wouldn't be in the Philippines. Or I might be in another country in Southeast Asia. Or I might be in a country in South America. I probably wouldn't be in Europe or Northern America. I don't think I'd be in Australia. Maybe in New Zealand, but not Australia. Certainly not in Canada, no. And when I say Africa, probably somewhere like Zambia, Botswana, Namibia, somewhere like that. maybe northern parts of southern Africa, or maybe in the Western Cape, but going up the Saldanha coast, maybe that area, maybe, but not close to the city locations for sure. Now, some of you are probably very surprised now. Why wouldn't I consider the Philippines as my first choice? And quite honestly, I mean, as much as I enjoy the lifestyle here, I share it with Richie, and I've got Mikey here settling into school here as well, and have many friends here, and obviously we've got family. So, I mean, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. But if it was me retiring, it probably wouldn't be my place, because I'm looking for kind of isolation and adventure in the sense of my retirement. I'm looking for getting into a vehicle and driving where I don't see anybody for a full day, in an environment which is just open land, open ground. And you can't do that really here. You can do it in Africa. You can do it in Australia. You can do it in certain parts of the world. In this part of the world, it's, Southeast Asia is quite although there are 7,500 islands here in the Philippines, there are a lot of people wherever you go, to a large degree. There are lots of people. And if you do get into very rural, mountainous areas where there aren't too many people, the chances are there are probably other things that are going to be a bit more dangerous to you in that environment anyway, in the form of other organisations that might decide they're going to kidnap you. So, but I mean, they're a long way from where I am. But it would be those kind of areas that I would like to go and get into, the rural isolation areas for my fix in working and traveling and retiring in that respect. So no, the Philippines is not for me that place of retirement. It's a nice place. It's got nice options and good cost-effective options to live. There's no doubt. A bit complex if you're on your own, because you don't know where you're going. You don't know where to go to. Looking for if you're coming here purely to look for a partner, yeah, well, the Philippines is famous for that kind of thing, isn't it? But I would be there very careful, because to try and find a partner, you'll find someone, there's no doubt. Whether they're the right person or not, difficult to say. And then also you've got to then select the home. And then you've got to be happy in it after you've gone through that process. And I'm talking about people that are in their 60s. I wouldn't do that. I certainly wouldn't do that. I mean, I do this because I know we've been together for such a long time, Richie and I, and we obviously have gone through lots of things over many years in many different countries. But if I was myself just coming here to retire, well, I wouldn't be coming here to retire. It doesn't tick my boxes in that respect for me personally in everything I do. So I share things here. Here it's about family. Here it's about community. Here it's about those sort of things. Now it puts up barriers. There are challenges for foreigners coming here. The medical we know about. Certain visa requirements, it can be a bit laborious sometimes. They do change. They can be a bit laborious. You can't own property here. You can't own a property here. You've got to accept the fact that doesn't work. Investments here are very difficult to establish without where you have full control. You don't. So yeah, it wouldn't be my option if I was on my own at all. And I think that's an important message to get to people who are looking at my life and looking at it and saying, well, yeah, we can do that. We can go there, find some. Yeah, I think you've got to consider your options very carefully about that and decide if it's, for me, if I was going to jump into this environment to live, starting off as a single person but wishing to have someone eventually, I wouldn't focus on looking for someone. I would focus on location first, or where I would like to live. Once I established that, and I got into that location, and I was renting a place in a place I've done some of my own research on and like it, then I would settle down in that place and make sure I do like it for a year or two first, and then consider the options of meeting the right individual. You know, I wouldn't do the other way around. I wouldn't find the person first and then move. You've got to get into the family environment here as well. In fact, it's not just the individual person, it's the family. Nothing wrong with that. You've got to accept that, you know, as you would in any environment, really. We all have had families, but in the West we tend not to be as close to them as people are here. So yes, to shut this question down now, would I be choosing the location if I was? I'm not, let's be clear, but if I was, no, it wouldn't be here, because the complexities of a single-minded with lots of things you want to do in a hurry, I wouldn't come here, for sure. I would consider what you really want in life, carefully consider it, and then step by step. But as a place, you know, it's a beautiful place. I love the rural community. I love the community spirit. I love that type of stuff, yes. But would I want it as a single person? Probably not, because I'm looking for that those fixes of getting out into the bush in a more way of freedom. No, I can't do that at the moment. I've got a 16-year-old son and a wife, and we're busy building a house, so that's why. So yeah, the build is going to be done today, or continued with, which is great. Yeah, we'll start the rendering, I think, later in the week. In fact, we'll probably get the floor down before we do the rendering. In this area I'm standing on now, where the floor has got to come across here. And then we're putting flooring in all these areas here, of course, all round. Hey ho, and away we go. Talk later.